boy. Just be yourself. If people don't like it if you're being yourself, fuck them.
Big Los,
Hollywood Kev,
and welcome to another episode of The Noize on iHeartRadio. If you haven't, go ahead and follow The Noize at The Noize Podcast on the big three, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And, of course, you can follow everything Beat Network at beatnetworkonline.com. Literally has all the links. I'm sad that it's taking me all this time to be like, just give these niggas the website.
yeah.
The website literally has everything that's Beat Network. So, beatnetworkonline.com and stay up to date.
I cut down like so much time.
So much intro time.
So much syllables.
And I'll just plug it again on the way out. See, look at God. Anyway, Kev, long time no see, sir. How are you?
It's been a minute. I'm good, though. I'm here. Happy to be back.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Get
sir.
in here and make some noise.
I'm sure that
no pun.
All the puns intended on that one. I don't know any other way we could go about saying that. Shout out to the ear hustlers, man. We appreciate you guys, listening, even though we may drop the ball here and there.
Yeah.
It's all love. It's all love. But we did let you guys know that we'll be dropping a new episode today. So here's the new episode. God damn it, enjoy it.
Like it, lather in it.
And, man, really shout out to y'all because y'all been showing out with the listens since Black Podcast Month. Like, seriously.
We appreciate that.
Whoever the new ear hustlers are, welcome. God damn it, welcome. Go ahead and get you a shirt. To the old ear hustlers, again, we appreciate you guys, man, seriously. Another appreciation want to give to Mario Whitaker and Live Management Group. He finally had his Vice event again.
Right.
The first time we tried to do it, I'm convinced we blew it up because when I plugged in,
You just gonna blame it on us immediately?
I'm just gonna take that because I remember plugging in the sound system, and then before everything really got going, all of a sudden lights go. So like,
maybe somebody else plugged behind
I felt like
you.
we were the newest plug to come there, and I felt like we may have been the one. But I don't understand how this little Behringer can be the one to take out the entire block.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it took out more than just that area.
Well, he initially had the event. It was supposed to be February 16th, and fire, go ahead and shut that down. So he had the event again. Really good turnout. Met some really great people. Did some awesome interviews. Definitely, stay locked on beatnetworkonline.com. We're going to be putting out those interviews. We're going to have an article to match it. Yeah, it's going to be a really good feature. And it was a really good time.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to cut out early, but it started to look like it was shaping up to be something.
It was definitely
good.
shaping up. But it came out really good.
Definitely
Want to shout out Truth and Tavon Greatness Patterson. They held it down for the on-camera work, man.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. Had some really good interviews and got some really good information out of some really good people.
That's dope.
Everything was really good.
That's solid.
Goddamn.
Really good Friday.
Really good Friday. You know what ain't really, really good? It's like, it's so many areas that we could touch on just dealing with this episode alone. I mean, you got the president, fucking old porn stars. Again, Obama couldn't have done any of this.
No.
You got Bow Wow getting knocked out. Like, we missed a lot.
Saw that.
Bow Wow got knocked out. And he dissed Chris. Boy, he didn't diss Chris Brown. He hit up Chris Brown like, what's good with our friendship on the record. Chris Brown was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, we're cool.
I thought we was good.
He may be going through a crisis. Who knows? But there's a lot of different subjects we could touch on, but we definitely have our show all mapped out. Before we even get into the actual show itself, as hip-hop heads, we got to send a huge rest in peace to Craig Mack.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy because I think we did a damn near a Bad Boy episode. So to have Craig Mack passing, and he was definitely talked about in that episode.
Definitely.
So to have him passing that's a tragedy.
Yeah, I mean, like, of course what we do here, we talk a lot of shit, and let's be honest, we don't know where the fuck Craig Mack was leading up to this. But with his passing, you actually end up finding out a lot of what he was working on. I didn't know, according to Eric Sermon and a couple other rap cats in the industry, he was working on an album.
Really?
Yeah, so he was putting together his comeback. Now, in this climate in hip hop,
I don't know if that would have worked.
It probably wouldn't have juked.
I don't even think it would have worked for the people that know, like, really know him and want him to do good. They might even be like, nah, bro.
They might have passed on that one as well, but we would have at least got some fire beats out of it if Eric Sermon was getting involved.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely
But outside of that, man, to know that he was still on it, his one major song is Flavor in Your Ear.
Mm-hmm. Whenever he did a feature, he killed it.
Yeah, he did his thing. You remember when he came back on Special Delivery?
Yeah, when he came on
that was unexpected.
Yeah, that was.
But I mean, he did his thing. You know, of course, you know, we're not hypocrites. We're not gonna say here and say, "Oh, Craig Mack's top 5 dead or alive," or we followed his career through and through. But you know, you've definitely heard Craig Mack's records, and there would literally be no Bad Boy without Craig Mack.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I mean, you know, Big put on, but it was the fact that it was a 2-hit combo between him and Big that brought that attention to Bad Boy. Diddy would tell you that himself.
Yeah. I feel like Craig Mack and Diddy was Nike and Biggie was Jordan. That's how that worked.
Jeez.
That's how that worked.
I can see that. That's actually a really good example. But yeah, man, definitely rest in peace to Craig Mack. We lost, you know, I mean, one major album, but still, he's a pioneer, dude. Because Flavor in Your Ear is a timeless record. Mm-hmm. Timeless record.
I really hope the newer artists that are in tune with their hip hop roots, I don't want nobody to do a remix using that beat.
Somebody's going to.
Don't do a sample. Don't touch it.
You know
Just leave it alone.
You know what's gonna suck is that it's gonna be somebody from our part of the spectrum.
It would have to be,
because that Fat Joe record where he's spitting over Ambitious of a Rider. I'm like, why did you do that?
I was so hurt because I heard Ambitious of a Rider when it came on the radio. I heard it. I was like, okay, does he got? No, he doesn't have one. And it's funny because I think when I heard it, the way that it's mixed, I thought like the DJ was the radio DJ was mixing like songs. You know how like on the weekends they do like
that's exactly what it sounds like.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought it was happening until he kept the same beats kept going.
You're
I was like, wait a minute,
this isn't changing.
This is the song. All right.
I was very let down by that record.
Yeah, and it sucks because you had I seen certain interviews with Fat Joe come on and be like, yeah, we got so and so, and I'm like, yeah, I got a new record, and Fat Joe's good for a single every summer just about.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, it's about that time, and heard this one, I was like, yeah, you ain't got one, Joe. Sorry.
If you look at Joe's track record, does he ever really hit you with a solid, good second single?
No, it's like, usually the first summer one.
What's
and
Love was buzzing. I can't even tell you what came after What's Love. Shit, if we're going off a recent fucking, what's the record he had with Chris Brown?
Which one?
I'm not even.
Just him. It's just him and Chris Brown.
It's him and Chris Brown.
I know what song you're talking about. I hear it in my head. I know what song you're talking about.
Like I don't remember if a single followed that.
Nope.
And this record is following.
What followed? We ain't even got to go that far. What followed them all the way up? That's Joe's record.
Weren't they supposed to have a whole album? I think did they have that? Did the album come out?
I don't think they were supposed to have a whole album.
No, they were supposed to do a joint album.
Really?
Yeah.
Either way, what single came out of any of that after Album All the Way Up?
To my knowledge, no. You know what? Shit, it's right there. A single did follow, but it didn't.
That's
buzz.
on Joe's record?
No, I think that's supposed to be a part of the record with him and Remy. I can't remember what the record's called, but a single definitely did follow up, and it did not buzz the way that.
That's probably why I don't know about it.
But I'm trying to think what the hell's the name of that damn record. So this record followed the one he did with with Dre from Cool and Dre, which I'm pretty sure was meant for Drake. The So Excited record.
It does sound like a Drake record.
That was supposed to be for Drake, and then Drake, Fat Joe's like, "No, you cheaper, my nigga. Why don't you go ahead and hop on this?
We gonna rock with you." Yeah, that does sound like a Drake.
Imagine how big that song would have been. It was big. Don't get me wrong. Imagine how much bigger it would have been with Drake on it.
Yeah, it would have been crazy. It might have made people pay a little bit more attention to this song that he's putting out now.
Nah,
you don't think so?
It's getting attention. It's getting horrible attention. Because I'm like, because when the record come on, there's nothing different. Nah. It's Ambitious of a Rider with Fat Joe and Dre.
Mm-hmm. That's not good.
And it's a hard pill to swallow.
It is.
Because you can't help but to rap Ambitious of a Rider, but then
I
don't want that.
But that's probably what makes it bad, though. I think the hook makes that song bad because it starts with the hook. I think the hook makes that song bad. Yeah, the hook and the choice of beat, because it's not just a straight Ambitious as a Rider beat. It's Ambitions as a Rider mixed with something else.
No, it's all Ambitions.
Is it all Ambitions?
Yeah, it even starts off doom doom doom.
I swear I was hearing another.
No, that's
mixing there. Really?
I mean, it could be something on the music bed, but it's all Ambitious of a Rider.
Either way, it wasn't a great idea to even take that caliber of a song.
That was bold.
And make it, and this was more of a poppy love. I don't. Who cleared him on that? Does Suge clear this?
Nope. Does Suge even have a say so?
I don't know. I feel like he should.
I mean, he should, but I feel like he doesn't, though.
I don't know.
Yo, speaking of, I watched this documentary, the Who Killed Biggie and Tupac. The one, I think it was Soledad O'Brien and Ice-T. First of all, weirdest two-person combination ever.
Yeah,
Secondly,
I haven't seen that, though.
Secondly, Ice-T did exactly what he does on Law and Order. Like, you never turn to Ice-T for, like, the super cop information. You turn to him for, like, the one-liners. Like, they'll be saying all kind of super technical cop shit, and Ice-T will be there. Yeah, that'll show him. That's basically what Ice-T was doing throughout the whole Who Killed Biggie and Tupac thing. She's like Soledad is laying down all kind of facts about different things with the shooting, and they're talking about these crazy, all these different people and getting all this crazy information. They cut to Ice-T. I'm blown away. I'm like, why are you here?
I'm just like, I'm blown away.
That's really how he sounds, like, bro. Like, you don't have to be too tall all the time. You feel me? You could be Ice-T. You can say how you really feel.
Was he just the hip hop documentary man? They felt like they just had to bring in on this one.
They was like, we need somebody who's like a cop, but also hip hop. who does both? Ice-T. Let's go get him. Sure, I do it.
I have to watch this.
It's a dope it's a dope documentary. And
let me ask you this: do you feel like you've gotten more information out of this one than any other documentary you may have watched about it?
About the shooting, yes.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that is because they actually bring in actual police reports. They bring in the cops that were in charge, that were brought into the investigation to help.
Okay.
And then you get more information. You get, people that they haven't spoke to. They talked to the bodyguard that basically brushed the dude off with the bow tie, the one they said that killed Big. Because apparently he was walking up on him, and the bodyguard flashed his pistol and was like, "Nah, that ain't happening here." So the dude with the bow tie walk off. And then all the witnesses say they saw a dude with a bow tie shoot Big. So they're like, okay, so that must have been dude. With Pac's murder, they said straight up it was the dude that jumped him. It was the dude that they jumped at MGM.
I've heard a lot of stuff. With Big ones, see, I'll be interested in this because with Big's murder, I honestly don't know much about that. I feel like that one's kind of more glossed over than when it comes to Pac, which I can kind of understand why.
There's a lot of layers to it, but of course it all leads back to Suge.
Right.
Especially after watching that feature.
I feel like the one with Pac, though, that one's I feel like directly leads back to Suge somehow, some way. So I'm gonna have to check this out.
They did a mock, and this shit is old, but we're still talking about it like it's new as fuck. But anyway, they did like a mock shooting, saying that if Suge planned this, then he would have to have expert, like damn near stuntman positioning to not end up dead the way that they shot up the car.
Really?
But you, as you know, Suge still got grazed in the head.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they were trying to figure out, first of all, was Pac the initial target? Because,
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Suge was the initial target.
No, I wouldn't be surprised either. Remember, that was the original rumor. That was the original conspiracy, was that Suge was the target. Dude just happened to pull up on Pac's side. But the way they talked about everything that happened, the dude that they jumped at MGM, the gun that they said killed him, they caught him with that same gun a couple months prior.
Wow.
The exact same gun. And they were like, too much match, dude, but of course he's dead. He got wiped off already.
Right.
So it's a dope thing. It's a dope documentary to watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give that a check.
But after that, just stop putting out Big and Pac shit, because it's just like y'all flooding the block too fucking much. Because then I haven't watched that TV show yet with Bokeem Woodbine and all the other people.
Me either.
And I kind of don't want to watch it, to be honest with you.
I think, now granted, these dudes are pioneers for our culture, but I think we've gotten the gist of what we're going to get out of that situation.
Right.
At the end of the day, they're not coming back.
We get it. They're dead.
Right. You know what I mean? So I agree with you. They shouldn't keep putting out, who killed Biggie and Pac? No, just let them men rest and go about your day.
Exactly. Like they even called Suge for part of the interview for the recent one that I watched.
That's great. And even though Suge, to me, well, he was cool when I met him, but he's probably a piece of shit overall. I know that man probably is tired of talking about the same shit over and over again.
He seemed pretty cool with talking about it.
You'd be cool too if you're talking from somebody from the outside of you in jail.
Like, I'll talk about anything. But yeah, that's definitely worth checking out. But to get into some more conspiracies. Yep. I had no intentions on watching this, but it was on at work. But the OJ interview from 2006.
I still have not watched it yet.
Boy, let me tell you. Of course, he kept, I guess to give people background as if they didn't know. So in 2006, OJ Simpson did a hypothetical interview with this unknown news lady.
See, I thought he just wrote the hypothetical book.
No, but it was about the book.
Oh, okay,
so he did this interview to talk about the book and to talk about the case and everything like that. And of course, the book. I didn't do it, but if I did, here's how. So he's talking about the book with this media lady, and it's eerie, dude. It's eerie because we knew he killed both of them. Like, we obviously know that. We weren't happy about that when he got off. We were happy with the fact that, y'all know what it feels like.
Right.
But we know that he killed her. But where it was eerie to watch and to listen to what he was saying, he's talking about it so casually.
Really?
And he keeps saying it's just a hypothetical. And before they even talked about the actual murder itself, they were just running through different things that was going on in their relationship. One of the things was when the audio that they played a couple months before the murders happened, where he stormed over there because he was hearing that Nicole was having orgies. Nicole Brown Simpson was a freak. Like, some of them stories they were telling, I was like, oh shit,
she was getting it in.
And then the Ron Goldman, he worked at like a random restaurant that she knew him from, and he was saying he was over there just returning her wallet or something like that. Like, no, you over there to beat cheeks.
Yeah,
stop it.
Yeah.
But anyway, they had audio of when he went over there to confront her about the sex parties. And he's going off with the kids in the other room, and she's on the phone with 911, and it was just a whole bunch of just, like, you hear OJ in the back going ham. He is going off. She even said, she's like, the kids in the other room sleeping. He's like, oh, you didn't care about the kids in the other room sleeping when you out here fucking Kenny? I was like, whoa.
He's mad.
He is upset. So he's addressing all of these things. He addressed the abuse and all that, and it was just so casual.
Like, he truly didn't give a fuck.
He didn't give a fuck. And I'm like, this is 2006.
You think OJ got CTE?
I would have to look more into his career.
He was a running back.
Yeah, but you didn't really hear too much about OJ being injured and shit like that.
Yeah, you don't have to be. I mean, you don't have to be injured to have CTE. You taking constant hittings in the head.
Well, yeah,
you can be cool.
I know that's how it happened, but like, you don't hear about any concussion reports.
No, I know that, but what I'm saying is you don't even have to have a concussion. You can still get hit hard enough, maybe not hard enough to put you out, but hard enough to where it can do some damage. And we also would have to look at the fact that the league was different then, so who knows? They probably didn't have the same protocols as they do now.
But to piggyback off that question, do you think that would change anything?
As far as him being guilty?
Yeah.
No, he did that, and I think
I'm not even talking about, we know he did it, for sure.
I'm saying...
But I'm saying as far as the outside looking in.
I mean, the CTE may have something to do with his behavior when it comes to talking about stuff like that. You got to be a stone cold individual to sit here and talk about a murder that you did, like you were reading the news or something. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be cold to do something like that.
It's crazy. It took that whole movie to come out for us to understand what CTE is. I thought it was just Young Jesus Group for a long time.
Me for a long time.
Then it was like, oh, okay, got you.
That's serious.
But anyway, so getting back to the OJ thing. It's funny because a lot of the conversation is, so can he go to jail now? Now that we know that he killed her, can he go to jail now? Like, y'all must not understand, Double Jeopardy was way more than just a movie. Like, people, like, he's had his time in court, was found not guilty by a jury of his peers. He's officially off the books.
Yeah.
He could go to somebody and be like, look, I killed the fuck out of her. Here's pictures. Like, here's a video.
Yeah, and there's nothing anybody can do.
They can do about it because he's already been tried. That's the fucked up thing about this justice system, ain't it?
It is, but it isn't.
How so?
And I'm going to give you a scenario. The scenario will be fucked up, but it's a scenario. It is, but it isn't. Because if we're taking that same thing in vain. You can't be tried for something else. Let's say you young and you kill somebody. Could have been an accident, could have been on purpose, right? Let's say it was on purpose. You was banging, you killed somebody, right? You got caught, got off. They use it as self-defense, whatever, you got off. Later down the road, changes his life around. He's doing good, but he comes out and says that he killed this person on purpose. Would you want him to now go to jail if the justice system was, we can try you again? Does he now supposed to go to jail because he admitted to something that happened 30 years ago?
Yes, and the only reason I say that is he can get a plea deal that he could have got 30 years ago. I say everything just kind of starts over.
Nah, I don't.
No, now where he'd be fucked is lying in court. He definitely can hit for perjury.
Right. They can definitely.
So that's
get
a
him
whole
with
nother
that.
charge.
And I think that's probably why that's why they have it offset like that. Like, okay, we can't get you for the murder, but if we get you a perjury, we're gonna hit you with a lot more than what you would have had you just took that deal.
The way OJ did for stealing the picture of him.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That the dude he stole it from said, I don't blame him. He said that, quote, I don't blame him. I would have took my stuff back too. But no, this is why I kind of disagree with your point there. I don't think he should, if this said person did this, I don't feel he should go to jail, not for that particular murder. For the perjury, cool, but not for necessarily the murder.
Okay, so
You got, basically, I'm saying, how do you penalize somebody for something they made in their past when they're a completely different person now?
True. Now, I'll go against that by saying when Emmett Till's murderers were found guilty, 20, 25 years later, something like that, they had a whole interview detailing how they murdered him. What was it, just 2 years ago? The lady that said Emmett Till whistled at her finally admitted on her deathbed? Like, nah,
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago.
Like, no, I was lying. He didn't whistle at me. We had no engagement whatsoever. So it's like, those kind of motherfuckers I would love to see have their day in court because they bragged on it like it was a Tuesday to them. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, yeah, stuff like that. I can agree with you on. I'm just saying I think when it comes to actually the law, and this is why it's so fucked up, it literally has to go specific. It has to go case by case, but it shouldn't go case by case.
Right.
It's like catch-22. Because we just created two perfect scenarios where you can go for one or the other, but at the end of the day, both the shit is wrong. So
I would say in your scenario, being that it'll get brought to a jury of his peers, let the jury find him not guilty again or find him guilty of a lesser charge because they realize he has changed his life. He is moving differently. He's already done in his life what they set up jail to do, which is to rehabilitate you. So let them use that to come up with something different.
That I can completely agree with that. We ain't gonna stick you in. Okay, let's reevaluate this. We're gonna take a look at this, get the facts first, and then go back. That I like.
Right. So I would say, if we did away with double jeopardy, just let the retelling of the story,
right?
Decide the new fate of them. Because when I read the article that Emmett Till's killers, that they got released, I'm like, come on, man. Y'all niggas, like, y'all have no shame whatsoever in what you did. And really, and going back to OJ, same way. Now he tried, at the end of the interview, he tried to, play it off like, it was really hard to do because, I really did love that woman, And, like, get the fuck out of here, man. You had all the smiles on your face and talking all this shit.
Anybody that can say that they killed, and that's quote, with a smile on their face, they did that shit.
They did it, exactly. Like, he was talking about a dude named Charlie that had the knife. Right, exactly.
Charlie? No, wasn't Charlie the one actually driving the Bronco when OJ was in the back?
No, that was somebody. That was, fuck, he was a football player, too. I can't remember his name.
I thought his name was Charlie.
It wasn't. We didn't hear Charlie name throughout the entire time until this interview came out.
Really?
But
I don't know why I thought that man's name was Charlie. Maybe he looked like a Charlie to me. He looked like a Charlie.
He gave me a Charlie or a Field, one or the other. But he was saying, Charlie hit him up like, yo, something going down over here, because he was, apparently peeking through Nicole's window, like something going down.
OJ had niggas peeping.
He had niggas watching. He had niggas lurking, and he went over there with the static, and he said that Ron Goldman. This isn't funny because they're dead, but still, when you look at the picture of Ron Goldman, nothing about him says karate. But OJ says Ron Goldman gets in a karate stance, and OJ says to him, Oh, you think you gonna fuck me up? Goes out, get the knife, starts poking niggas.
What?
Right.
What? Now, there's so many things wrong with that. First, why do you have other grown men peeking in your ex's window? That's
Who's
number
the
one.
grown man that said, I'll do it?
That was my number
I'll
two.
do it for you.
Number three, it seemed like OJ and whoever he has peeking in his window. Why don't Nicole have blinds or curtains? Why it seem like they can peek into the window so easily?
This the early 90s, baby.
We ain't got no shutters or nothing.
Nah, man. Well, you gotta think about around this time, it was like the old school blinds.
But I get it. But she's with or was with OJ. I'm pretty sure she got enough money to get some decent home decor. She could have closed the blinds.
So her interior decoration is what caused her murder.
Essentially, it could be. Had she got some curtains, she might have lived. I don't know. I don't know. Again,
Had you took your ass to Ross. I hate you so much.
okay. Now, in addition to that,
Oh, shit.
Goldman getting in his karate stance and OJ getting a knife. My thing is, if that is the case, OJ, you're a football running back and you left to go get a weapon for this dude?
Maybe that's all he knows how to do is just run. OJ didn't really strike me as somebody that had squabbles.
Nah, to me, OJ was one of those that he was completely bred for football. Like once he got his hands on football and started, that was what he was going to do. I didn't see him as somebody that was overly intelligent. He was going to rely on football to take him wherever and do it that way, and this proves it.
One thing that did shock me, like, because I only know OJ as the murderer. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize how
Dominant,
decorated and dominant he was on the field. Like
that's
shit.
why it was such a big thing, and why even some white people was like, "No, OJ didn't do it," because they loved him as a running back because he was a beast.
Because like my only experience with him is Naked Gun killed his wife.
He
like
was
from
a Naked
Gun
Gun
up is the only thing I know him from.
Wow.
I didn't know he was a sportscaster. I knew he was Hall of Fame, but I didn't know everything else. I'm like, shit. That video, man, that shit is. I mean, that interview is chilling.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to YouTube it. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube.
And then it's so crazy because now people are like, "So, do you think OJ did it?" Like, yes, we do that before this interview. But it's just so crazy that people all of a sudden when they reintroduce the question, like, there ain't nothing new, ain't nothing shocking about that.
He did it. We was happy Cochran got him off using y'all system.
Right. If he didn't do it, he definitely got shooters. He has something to do with it. His hands
That's what I'm
ain't
saying.
clean.
Me personally, I don't think he did it. I mean, I haven't watched his interview. Maybe my opinion will change. I think somebody very close to him, I think he had his son do it, honestly. I think somebody of that nature did it, and maybe he was around. Maybe he was in the room, but I don't think he physically did it. Maybe he poked up Goldman but didn't poke up Nicole. I don't know.
Somebody else did that.
Either way, I do know he was strongly affiliated, and at the time, yeah, he should have did some time for that specific thing.
Yeah. I mean, but where it got eerie to me was when he was talking about it, he said, I just blacked out. He said, I never blacked out before, yada, yada, yada. And, of course, he had to catch himself and be like, hypothetically.
If a nigga say he just blacked out, he did that shit.
And you should have saw his face. He was reminiscing. He was back in the mode. Like, damn, I was chopping her shit up.
If this what happens. If he'd be like, yeah, blase blah, man, and you take that breath, and I just blacked out.
That's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. And that's why I was looking like, nigga, this ain't no hypothetical.
You did that.
Right now, you're reliving what
Right.
happened. If you haven't watched the OJ interview, please go out and watch it because that was a hell of an interview. And you could tell the lady that was interviewing him, she was getting nervous, like, wait, I'm a white woman. And I'm upsetting you with some of the things I'm saying. What about you just stood up and started just poking her shit up? Like, no one saw this? Y'all didn't want to put this out. But you know what's so crazy about this video? The prosecutor from the original case, he's the one that vetoed the interview coming out back when it was supposed to come out back in 2006.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, had I known this information was on there, I wouldn't have vetoed it. I'm like, well, don't you look stupid?
Idiot.
Like, I understand you're trying to protect the family, but what are you doing now?
Being stupid.
Exactly, because then and the Goldman family are getting fucked out of their settlement because they're not allowed to touch.
They can't touch his NFL money.
Exactly, they can't touch his NFL money, so they're getting fucked out the rest of their settlement. So I'm like, shit, ain't like anything changed.
Yeah.
But
prayers up for the Goldmans, man.
Prayers up for the Goldmans, man. You need to teach them better karate. Never mind. Anyway,
home decor,
or get that Home Depot dial up.
I bet you Mama Goldman got some blinds right now.
Guarantee.
I take that back. That was so mean.
some blackout curtains. She ain't with that no more. Going into the next subject before we go directly to hell. This is a quick one. So DJ Envy had Desus Mero on the show, and he addressed them, you know, off the dribble. Like as soon as the show started, I think what he called them, dickhead and pussy.
Did he?
I think that's.
I don't remember hearing that part. I watched it, but I don't remember hearing that part. Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Dickhead and pussy. I think it was.
Yeah,
If it was anything different, I'm pretty sure Cordell listening. Let us know, Corey. But yeah, you know, he come off the dribble saying that, and I didn't get a chance to watch the entire interview, but apparently he ended up walking out.
Yeah, he did end up walking out. With that situation, it's tricky because I feel like Envy and his wife probably took what they said a little to heart. You know what I mean? Probably more so his wife than him. And shit was probably not good at the house. Because somebody that DJ Envy could actually reach out to and touch, then disrespected. So probably he had to come and check them. He did have to do that.
Just to catch everybody up, they said that she basically stuck around after all this cheating for the bag, which she probably did.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. You know, I'm glad she was able to go on and create her own, you know, business and, you know, make her own money. But, I mean, let's be real. This was DJ Envy in his DJ Envy days.
Right.
It was
exactly.
the bag. You get over cheating a lot when the bag is straight. Because Kobe's forgiveness ring?
When the bag is good.
I wanted to say I forgive you.
I know you didn't do it, Kobe.
Listen, I understand. I know it wasn't rape. She wasn't the cutest thing in the world, but I understand you needed to get your dick wet. I understand. I forgive you. But
so about that ring, though.
Right. So about that ring, can I get one? But
it don't even have to be that big.
Yo,
you know?
Somebody said his wife got a championship ring out of him.
She did.
That's ultimately what it was.
It's huge.
But anyway, getting back to it. So I said in the Beat group chat that how he handled it was like a sucker, but I agree with his reaction.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
The only reason I say how he handled it was like a sucker was I could have caught them any other day. Obviously, we're both in New York. We're both, you know, we kind of roam in the same areas. I know where your studio's at.
I probably have your number in my phone.
I would have just pressed you as soon as, all right, I'd have pressed you over the phone and then pressed you in person.
Right.
Then when we got to, you know, Breakfast Club, then we could have a conversation like, yeah, you know, I wrote up on and we had a conversation.
You ain't even got to say what they talked about.
At all.
We had a conversation.
We did it right then and there.
We had a conversation and we good. How y'all doing today?
And keep it going from there. But I felt like he wanted to create another moment.
You think so?
Yeah,
another Breakfast Club moment?
Yeah, I mean, look at it. When you think of moments in radio, they all belong to the Breakfast Club. At least for our culture.
For most of our culture, there was, because Hot 97 is not what it was.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, you can say that most of it right now.
Like this is just at least in the last, we'll say 10 years.
That's what I'm gonna say. At least the last 10 years.
Majority of it belongs to the Breakfast Club. Shit, from asking Diddy straight up, did you kill Tupac?
Right.
And you know, like, come on, man, it all belongs to the Breakfast Club. I think he just wanted another moment. I think he wanted to bring people on and show that, you know, light skinned niggas can be tough too. And he walked out of his own show.
Walked out. And then tweeted,
reverses what he was trying to go for.
Right, and then tweeted, I wish they had that same energy to my face. But you left.
You left. They had the same energy to your face.
And I understand why he had to do it. He could have did it a different way. They even tried to like tell him like, yo, we was just joking. Like they tried to show right then and there that nah, we was just joking. And I think him walking out just made it. They could have deaded that situation right then and there, but by him walking out, it created a bigger divide.
They gave them content for their show.
Right, because they went on the show, and their show was funny as hell.
Immediately was talking shit about him.
It was funny.
Now, only thing I don't respect about it is, and I'm going to be real, I'm not too familiar with Desus Mero. It pissed me off because Desus was talking mad shit on the episode after the interview, obviously. But he was the first one to apologize in the studio. I don't remember Mero even apologizing.
Because maybe it was him that specifically said the joke.
No, yeah, it was him that specifically said the joke.
That's probably why he apologized. I understand that.
But even then, like, it was said on their show, and they both were being addressed. So if you're blaming both of us, like, okay, for example, we just got done talking about the Goldmans and their bad home decor. If they come in here and try to press you for saying something about that, they're not just pressing you, they're pressing the Noize. So if you don't apologize, I'm not apologizing. Point blank, period.
I can understand that. The part that I said I understood was him saying sorry, like trying to dead the situation and apologizing, but seeing that it didn't work out, to talking shit the next day. I get that. If I come to you and I'm like, yo, let's hash this out, and you're like, nah, fuck you. Well, nigga, it's fuck you. I can say whatever I want the next. So I understand that part, but I do agree with you. If you not saying sorry about some shit when we're getting pressed, I'm not either. I'm chilling.
And I guess to go off of that part of what you're saying is the energy wasn't, fuck you when it was fuck you right then and there. They ain't like Envy went home. Right. Shit. They did a segment about it after Desus Mero left. So I'm like, nah, you can't have that. I'm going to talk shit. I'm going to be, real boisterous, after the fact. I'm like, nah, you were the first one to apologize. And
I get what you're saying.
He maintained that exact energy from in there to the show the next day.
Right. I get what he's saying. I guess we would have to look at, there's a lot of things we have to look at. Hey, I don't know which one of them said the joke. Maybe that's why he felt like he needed to apologize because he said the joke. Maybe he didn't have that concept of, since I said it on our show, it's a we thing. And maybe his relationship with Envy, he probably had a relationship and he wanted to try to save her. That's maybe why he felt like he had to apologize so quickly. I'm just saying I can kind of understand it, but in the same token, I do agree with you saying if be with the shits or be with the shits.
Exactly. Be with or be without. But other than that, I mean, this is really something quick. I see his anger though, because now that now that his wife is more so in the limelight, she's a little more of a conversation piece. And that's why another reason why I actually feel bad for Charlemagne, because somebody like caught a picture of them coming out of a hotel or something like that, him and his wife.
Who, Charlemagne?
Yeah, so now all of a sudden all this information about Charlemagne's wife is popping up, and it's like he's very open about his marriage.
But you don't know much about
exactly,
his wife.
But you didn't want his wife just out there like that.
Right.
Especially considering, the heights of where his career is going. And I feel him, shit, keep my shit private. But with his wife kind of putting herself out there like that, well, getting put out there like that, like now it's kind of opening up a new target. And I think I've listened to one episode of their podcast. Like he's definitely on a leash. He's on a short leash at that.
Envy?
Hell yeah.
Damn.
He's on a short leash at that. But it's like this didn't help the situation. I agree, don't talk about my family, don't talk about my wife, the whole nine. But when you see these emotional outbursts, this doesn't help the light skinned conversation.
Yeah, nah.
This just look like beige anger. Like this is real shit.
Yeah. That's funny. I'm glad I ain't light skinned.
You're such an asshole. Like, I'm glad I was on the more darker side of the spectrum. But getting off of Envy, this is actually the last conversation, it seems like. We're going to spend a little time on it, though. I'm confused, and I understand, if that makes sense.
I don't know what you're about to say. I'm like, what are we understanding confusingly about?
I say that to say the conversation of Bruno Mars being a cultural appropriator, a culture vulture, if you will.
I'm confused. I don't even understand. I'm confused.
I'm confused because, first of all, let me start where I understand. I understand because the major award shows that we often preach in the black community to not pay attention to, but we seem to only pay attention to it when someone else gets it over us. I understand because they do seem to show favor to people outside of our culture, outside of our race.
To do what we do?
Doing what we do. They do seem to pay more attention to them. I mean, we had the conversation before. Eminem was the first rap act to win an Oscar.
Right.
So from that point, I do understand. Where I'm confused is, one, he's not white. Two, he pays homage every time he gets on there. And if you remember correctly, that was our initial argument, when it came down to people appropriating hip hop culture. Like, y'all don't know nothing about it. Y'all don't respect it. Y'all don't pay homage. Y'all do this, that, and the third. So now you have somebody who's legitimately paying homage, and now it's like, well, no, he ain't black, so no.
That's where I'm confused at too. I feel the same way. Literally what you just said. To go to your point about understanding, I get that, but I feel like that's not Bruno's fault.
Right. I agree.
It's not his fault if the people that control the money or the fans, if you're being real, that the fans prefer to hear me sing or do X, Y, and Z.
I don't think they're really worried about sales because black people, the black dollar doesn't contribute to music sales. Let's just be completely honest. When it comes down to hip hop and R&B, that's not the black dollar that's sending those records platinum. You go to a Kanye show, that is not all niggas.
Right.
You go to a Jay show, it's a good chunk of niggas, but it's not all niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, the black dollar is so selective. It's super selective.
I agree. It's we're watching it be selective with this business.
Exactly.
So yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So, and then another thing that's kind of irritating is we can't be so quick to call people cultural appropriators when it happens across the board. No one talks about Lenny Kravitz. No one talks about Jimi Hendrix.
That's very true.
Being legends in rock. You know, now granted, you can pose the argument that we invented rock, and we did. But when's the last time you claimed rock? What's the last rock record you listened to?
Right.
Exactly. So, you know,
that's not even embedded in our culture.
Exactly. When you think rock, you don't even think black people.
Right.
You know, no one talks about that. But like, to me, a true cultural appropriator is Post Malone. Somebody that does hip hop, talks shit about hip hop, doesn't even come from hip hop, but acts as hip hop as possible. That's appropriating the culture.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think the major issue is people need to understand what actually appropriating the culture means.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if we're being completely honest, if we're taking it in the same light that they're doing with this Bruno thing, then that means a majority, I'm not going to say everyone because I have heard some of them actually pay homage, but that means majority of black people that play basketball are appropriating their culture. A white man made this game. Made that particular game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't hear too many, like I said, I do know of some because I play a sport, but you don't hear of too many players like, yeah, I like to think Naismith because without him, I couldn't even do, you know what I mean? So would you say that those players are appropriationist basketball culture? Something that the black people are dominant in is 90% black shit, 98% black people.
I'm about to say, that's a little low.
You know what I mean? So are we appropriating that same culture? So I think to even dive deep into a conversation about appropriating the culture, we need to first get what the actual barriers of that means.
Right. Well, you got to remember the rule book changes every other week.
It changes from person to person.
Yeah, it changes in favor of the person.
Right. Somebody that I think is completely, and she's doing it right now to completely appropriate the culture is Miley Cyrus.
Hell yeah.
Miley Cyrus came in, tongue out, her jersey dresses and shit.
Didn't like the backlash.
Skated, dissed it. I had to get away from hip hop because of all the sex talk and stuff like that. And then was just on Twitter 2 days ago doing the same shit she was doing prior.
Right back to it. Horrible twerking and everything.
She put out that album, that Miley Cyrus album, and it went double wood, and she decided she wanted to go back into hip hop.
But you got to think about it. We seem to only give a fuck when they're getting attention from it. When it fails, no one says shit.
Right.
Like, shit, I just found out not too long ago, it's probably this is really stretching to the past, but you remember this trash reggae song back in the day? Fuck. It's called Informant. It's Informant.
Yes. I know what you're talking about.
That's a white guy. Not only is it a white guy,
what?
it is a white Canadian.
Nah, don't lie to me.
His name is Snow.
Don't lie to me.
A firm hand of God. His name is Snow. He's a white Canadian.
You couldn't tell me until 30 seconds ago that was not a Jamaican man with dreads and a dirty beard. You could not tell me that.
coming from West Indian culture, you definitely able to tell that he wasn't a true thoroughbred Jamaican.
Well,
but at the same time, I wouldn't have thought he was white.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have thought he was
like
white.
Arab or something.
I wouldn't have thought he had any type of fairness in his skin whatsoever.
It is a Canadian Vanilla Ice appropriator.
Yeah.
Because he came in, made money off of Ice Ice Baby, and then has talked shit about hip hop almost every year after.
Yeah. I do agree with you. I do believe he appropriated the culture, but I think his particular situation is different. I think that at one point he truly loved the culture and realized it didn't embrace him and then started to diss it. That's what I think happened with him.
No, with Vanilla Ice, he thought rapping was fun and he knew how to dance. I swear that's how he got in. That's how he got on.
Well, could be. But I agree with you. He appropriated the culture.
And then, like I said, he just went on to talk mad shit about it.
Yeah, that he has done.
And kept it moving, but he's still collecting them checks. Mm-hmm. Well, nah. Who's collecting them checks now? 'Cause I don't think he's getting them.
Is he getting checks sent to him?
I mean, I'm pretty sure Ice Ice Baby's still paying for something. He still tours off of it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Touring off one song?
One song. Bruh, look at all these motherfuckers touring off of one record.
You're right. You're absolutely
It's cats that are legends in the game, right? Dennis Edmond, may he rest in peace. Before he passed, was touring off of Don't Look Any Further.
What else can you, I guess, I mean, I'm assuming those people that tour off the one song, they do have an album. So I guess when you go to their concert, you hear their album.
You're just waiting, right?
You're just waiting for that song.
You got to sit through a bunch of shit that you know you ain't listened to.
Right, because that song is going to be the last thing he does.
Oh, yeah, you have to, because I'm leaving.
Right, if he does it first, I'm out.
If that's song number 2, I'm like, thank you, and I'm bouncing. I'm not going to stick around for this whole set. I don't know I Chihuahua. I ain't know this record. I ain't never heard this shit before. But, I mean, just going back to the Bruno part of it, I understand that paying homage may or may not make it right, I guess. Mm-hmm. But another thing that I look at is, how do you tell somebody you can't make the music that you grew up on?
Right. You
can't make the only music that you was exposed to. Shit, he I think he said it before, like the Lazy song was kind of him forcing that Polynesian side out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't really feel like Bruno compared when you look to what he's been doing ever since.
Right.
I think the next thing he did was the Nothing on You record.
Yeah.
So it's like he's been hip hop. He's been in the black culture from jump, and he's been raised on all these people. So if this is the only music you know, you can't force yourself to do anything else.
Right.
This is the only thing you know.
I have no problem with any of us embracing each other's cultures. I feel like that's what we should be doing anyway.
Just respect it.
We got to exactly. Just respect it. I feel like we got to embrace each other's cultures, not only to learn about each other, but to also get closer to one another. Mm. But respect it. You know what I mean? And if Bruno is respecting and doing things the right way, at least in my eyes, I have no problem with it.
Right.
Bumping 24 Karat on the way here.
Another person that we ain't talked about, Nelly. Nelly went full country.
Yeah.
No one said shit.
No one said a thing. No one told Nelly.
They said it was trash.
Yeah, but no one said he ain't get backlash for doing it.
He wasn't appropriating white culture.
Yeah.
To me, and we probably get comments about it, but whatever. I just hate the selective outrage with certain things that are, pun intended, black and white. It just it's weird because we choose to go after certain things to fall in our favor, like with this appropriation conversation. We get upset when white people make these R&B records, but are we still making R&B records?
Right.
I can't think of the last R&B artist that's buzzing right now. I mean, you can't sit here and tell me that August Alsina is R&B when all he can talk about is fucking and busting on females.
True. I mean, it is some that are buzzing in R&B, but not like it was. Not like it was before. There's nobody doing something like imagine when John B came out.
So let me ask you this. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is it that there aren't any more black R&B artists buzzing?
That's our fault.
Thank you.
That's our fault.
Thank you.
That's our fault completely. That's why I don't understand how the people that are saying he's appropriating the culture can get mad. If you feel that way, then change it. And I wish I could say it's that simple, but because the rules seem to change every other week, I'm pretty sure it's being seen as, no, it's not that simple. But it's just like you said, if we want to change the shit, we could boost somebody to number 1. Yeah.
No fucking problem. Like the way that people, streamed Cardi B, the way they streamed Bodak Yellow just to have her make history. just to give her a #1 record. We obviously have the ability to do that.
If the way Black Panther performed don't let us know that we got the power to do shit, then I don't know what else will.
Yeah, Black Panther spoke volumes, and shit. You already subscribed to your title, to your Apple Music. Just play all these R&B artists that you want to see get over.
Basically. And if you strongly feel like a motherfucker is appropriating the culture or not doing what he's supposed to, stop supporting him. And eventually he's gonna switch up.
And that's the funny thing is people always say, I don't like his music anyway. Like, you do. You don't like that he's doing it.
Right.
Because it could have easily been a black dude and it'd changed everything. Like, you look at the record off of the album. I always keep thinking of 24 Karat Magic, but it's the record he did before that was buzzing.
Bruno got a lot of buzzing records, so it's
Uptown
hard.
Funk.
There you go. Okay.
The record that came out after Uptown Funk that was on that same album with Mystical.
I don't remember that one.
You don't remember it?
I don't, or maybe I do, but just don't remember Mystical.
It was Mystical and Bruno Mars.
I don't remember.
I can't remember the song.
I'm gonna have to look
but
into it.
It was ultimately Uptown Funk, just kind of just different. You know what I mean? But that got Mystical back on the charts.
Right.
So I'm like, obviously you don't mind the sound. You just mind who's doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. And now I'm gonna ask you this question: do you think this because the conversation of a cultural appropriation doesn't just happen, Bruno? It happens a lot and happens frequently. Mm-hmm. Do you think this conversation is a new topic, or do you think it's just something that's being more spoke about now? Do you think back in the 90s you were having this conversation? Because I want to know, was John B appropriating the culture?
Technically, according to the conversation today, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I want to know, is this conversation new world? Because if he was, and everybody still felt like he was appropriating the culture, and this conversation is an old conversation, there's no way he should have been as big as he was, right?
I wouldn't say that it was a new conversation because we've been talking about it since Elvis, for sure. Mm-hmm. I don't think it got this delicate until recently, until it got to the point where, okay, well, we have this in our favor. Let's figure out what else we could put in our favor.
I see what you're saying.
And because I agree with you. I don't remember hearing a conversation about John B. I don't remember hearing the conversation about Eminem until recently.
That's true.
Like, Eminem was everybody's favorite rapper for a cool minute.
That's true.
And then all out of nowhere, he's a cultural appropriator.
Right.
You know, and it's selective. It's very selective.
It's selective, and we're being honest, it's selective for people that aren't black.
Yeah. It's very true.
Because if a new artist, a new black artist made Bruno's album, he'd be the biggest star on the planet right now.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Now, don't get me wrong, Bruno is one of the bigger stars, but I feel like with certain people feeling like he's appropriating the culture, he wouldn't boost like a black person would doing that.
And I remember I said this on one of the episodes we had a while ago. He's this generation's Mike.
Think so. On a grander scale? Because I can see that.
We have to give it more years for it to come into fruition, but if you go off of his track record, he's this generation's Mike. Because it seems like everything he puts out is a fucking hit.
Anything he touches is gold.
Everything he touches goes something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's only had, I think it's his third album right now?
Third or fourth
album, and multiple platinum plaques.
Yeah.
Even before he started making, quote, black music, multiple platinum plaques.
Mind you, we're talking about this album, and it came out, almost 2 years ago?
Damn near 2 years ago, exactly. Yeah. And it's still releasing singles.
Mm-hmm.
So he's definitely this generation's Mike. So when you look at that kind of music, that style of music, technically, if you want to call it anything, you had the king of pop, so this would technically be pop. You can't really look at this as R&B. Only reason it's looked at as R&B is because of the feeling that you get from it. You know what I'm saying? Because majority of people that listen to it are black, or majority of his dancers are black.
Right.
24 Karat Magic was not R&B whatsoever.
Nah. It was definitely pop.
Uptown Funk for sure wasn't R&B. It was
definitely
pop.
Definitely pop. It's pop with an R&B undertone.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. And I think 24 Karat went as hard as it did because it felt like a 90s, like the album felt like a 90s R&B type, the way it was put together. So that's why it went the way it went. But I can agree with you on that one. He might be this generation's Mike.
Like the niggas making moves, and I just wish we were able to accept people that respect the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have a lot of people who jump into the culture just to make $1. Again, Post Malone. You have a lot of people who jump into the culture just to...
That 6ix9ine kid.
Oh, of course, 6ix9ine. Hell yeah, 6ix9ine. Super cultural appropriator.
But a lot of the black people fuck with him. He floating.
He's definitely making moves. And we're definitely letting him say nigga all the time, and he's definitely an essay.
Yeah, so we're learning that, like you said, it's selective.
It's very selective. But even with that, one thing I'm noticing that it's our age of millennials that are bothered by stuff like this.
Yes,
because the younger millennials don't care.
They don't care.
They don't give a fuck.
They just want to know who making the good music.
The younger millennials and Generation Z, they just want to hear the music.
Right.
It's just our bracket, and we have to deal with it because it's our bracket.
Do you think with the mind frame of the younger millennials not caring, do you think that as they start to embrace more people like the 6ix9ine kid, by them embracing more diverse people, it would bring people together, but it would destroy hip hop? Do you see that happening?
I don't think it'll destroy hip hop. Hip hop is going to always be there. Unfortunately, the sound of hip hop is going.
That's what I mean. It's going to destroy the sound of hip hop.
Is it? Well, I mean, and even that's kind of a stretch because I remember I've said it before that hip hop is going to end up getting merged into pop, and that was me just talking out my ass. But when I look at it now, hip hop has always destroyed the last sound because hip hop coming from MCing to, putting it on wax to actually formulating a record, to actually being good at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's changed so much that it was naturally going to evolve.
Well, I'm not necessarily saying I don't want hip hop to evolve. I want it to be the best ever.
Right.
But what I'm saying is the components that make hip hop. What I mean is what's going to be destroyed.
I know what you're saying, but that's why I was saying I don't know if it's going to necessarily be destroyed because the components that make hip hop to us aren't being displayed today, but this could be what hip hop is to the younger generation.
That's true.
Because to us, Pac is GOAT.
Right.
But to anybody 10, 15, 20 years older than us, KRS-One is one of the greatest professors ever.
Yeah, my mother talked a lot about KRS-One.
But if we put on KRS-One, we're going to be like, this is trash. That's just going to be the first place you go to.
I think it's his main song. I can't even remember it. It was in Fifth's movie, the Get Rich or Die Trying joint, when he was standing in the mirror with the pistol. Mm-hmm. He was singing KRS-One. I can't remember the song. Yeah. I like that song.
That record and That's the Sound of the Police.
Yeah.
I felt like he was gassing on those too, but other than that,
I agree with you. Other than
you listen to KRS, you're like,
this is
you're a smart man. You know a lot about hip hop. You're definitely a professor, but boy, I couldn't have gone through a generation of this shit here.
That's how you get those black people that are older now, and you ask them what they like. No, I like this kind of music. You're like, what? You like? That's because they couldn't listen to KRS-One, so they went to a completely different genre.
Something completely different. I mean, but that again, that's just what was expected out of hip hop. Now, what I do see happening is exactly what you just said, with more people coming together, because Rich Chigga was supposed to be a joke.
Who?
You don't remember Rich Chigga? It's an Asian dude.
No.
Oh, yo, whenever you get the opportunity, Google Rich Chigga.
I've never heard of that.
It is a skinny
Rich
Asian
Chigga?
Rich Chigga. Chinese nigga.
And he's rich.
And he's rich. But he wasn't supposed to be shit. Mm-hmm. Now he's getting teased as one of the freshmen.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's hip hop is still gonna be hip hop, but to what people look at as it being more accepting, I look at it more as a novelty because we're letting anybody in now.
Right.
We're letting anybody do it at this point. Shit, you listen to the radio, literally everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't see it being viewed much as appropriation. I just see it having open the door policy, basically.
Right. And that's what I mean. As it grows, the open door policy, it'll probably make people closer. We're being more diverse, interacting with different cultures. But
And I'm sorry, continue.
No, I'm saying,
Finish your
but
point.
we just lost, and I'm saying lost with quotes, a good portion of what is people culture, human culture.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't think hip hop is just American culture. I think that's human culture.
But getting back to the point I was about to make about it being so selective, let's talk about hip hop. Big Pun is legend. Ain't none of him, nigga. We just got done talking about Fat Joe.
That's true.
Ain't none of him, nigga.
That's true. That's very true. Damn, I didn't think about that.
I'm like, it's so selective.
Yeah.
It's so fucking selective.
You're right. That blew me away. I didn't even think about that.
I just sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, dude, we look at Big Pun as one of the greatest to ever touch the mic. Mm-hmm. So is he? Did he appropriate hip hop culture?
That's a good. I'm gonna post that on Twitter.
I'm gonna watch people like, yeah, he did because.
I'm gonna just post it on Twitter, and I'm gonna do like a poll. It's yes or no, just to see, so people won't feel like they, you know what I mean, and see first if I get enough votes, I'll come back next episode to say it, and we'll see what happens. But that's a good question. I don't believe so. Again, I don't believe Bruno's appropriating the culture.
Right? Because why? Because they come from the culture.
Exactly.
Point blank. Period.
Exactly. The way I look at it is if we're going to call this a big culture cloth, Big Pun helped sew some of that in there. You know what I mean? I feel like Bruno has helped sewing some of that in there. So I'm not, you helping sew this cloth. So I can't be mad at you for helping me. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think
is J-Lo a culture appropriator?
Is J-Lo hip hop anymore?
Probably not anymore. She's definitely
probably
on
not. Yeah,
it's on more of the EDM side. But think about what got J-Lo, Jenny from the Block.
She was a fly girl.
She's a fly girl.
Yeah,
it's all selective. Like we didn't give a fuck about any of this shit.
And that's being that we have people that were there like Pun and J-Lo. That's why I asked: was this a topic that's been going on, or is this a new topic? Because they were there, you know what I mean, in the 90s, and I don't know of anybody back then saying they're appropriating the culture. Because J-Lo wouldn't be J-Lo now if she got blackballed for appropriating the culture back then.
I just noticed that the conversation seems to get brought up around Grammy time, and we're told to not give a fuck about the Grammys. And another thing that pisses me off that I was thinking about the other day is that exactly. We're supposed to not give a fuck about the Grammys because we know the Grammy don't give a fuck about us.
Right.
But we're so quick to judge a non-black artist for getting paid for making what's known as black music when they win a Grammy and we get snubbed for it. But if we're really on this protest circle, when the first hip-hop Grammy came to light, not one hip-hop head was there. Will Smith won.
That's true.
And he didn't even go. So I'm like, see, that's a protest. That's not giving a fuck.
Right.
That's forcing it down their throat.
Right.
Showing them that you care about the decision that they make by immediately calling somebody, you know, saying that they're appropriating the culture. That's just showing them that you're watching. That's showing them that you care.
Basically.
So cool. Let's keep bringing them in by putting all these black people in the album of the year, and then we're gonna give it to the Mexican. We're gonna give it to the white guy. Like, come on, man. Like, y'all don't recognize the game? Like, get out of here. If you're gonna truly not give a fuck about it, don't give a fuck about it. Point blank. Period.
Keep that same energy when you say it.
Till around the time it happens.
Right.
You didn't care, but now you care because somebody lost.
Fuck out of here.
Oh man, well, we back.
Yes, sir.
Noize gang, bang bang, hustle gang, ear hustles. Kev, let the people know where they can find you.
_ Hollywood Kev on Twitter and I was about to say Facebook. It's not that on Facebook. Twitter and Instagram.
At Big Los UTC on Twitter, Big Los IG on IG. Of course, you can follow at The Noize Podcast on the big three, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, go to beatnetworkonline.com to follow everything that is Beat Network. It's been a good show.
Yeah.
Happy to be back.
It's solid, yeah. Needed this.
Definitely needed this. Needed some vent time. As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, we appreciate your support. And as always, it's Big Los.
Hollywood Kev.
It's The Noize.